our next Ethereal Workshop wave is on the way, and this one is gonna be a go. We're on our penultimate Ethereal Workshop wave, so we need to go all over that. And then we also have some very cool variants to go over. This one, right? This one over here on Celestial Island, you know I want to talk about it, all right? So we're going to be talking about that as well today. So first of all, let's start off with what combinations we have left on Ethereal Workshop. So we have the final Triple F, the Crystal Quad, Poison Quad, and of course, our Quint. We know it's coming, my singing monsters. You can't hide it from us any longer. So yes, I am putting it on the theory bar today, okay? Now, each wave, it has had 2 monsters so far, meaning that in our second to last penultimate wave 5 that's going to be coming up next, we are going to be seeing 2 monsters, but which ones? Well, they've all been releasing in order of difficulty, of course, with the Poison Elemental being the hardest, most unstable element, and the Plasma one being the least. So, of course, we are going to be seeing them in the instability order once more, and that leaves us with our final Triple and Crystal Quad arriving inside of the Ethereal Workshop with 5 up next. Saving, of course, though, our Quint. Yes, we are bringing it up. And the Poison Quad ready for our final wave, which is going to be, oh, that is going to be so exciting, man. This Ethereal Workshop song, give it me, it's already ending up to be one of my favorite islands. It can go up there. Go up there, man. I want to see good things from this island song, and I feel like it really can provide. When is our next Ethereal Workshop wave going to be arriving, though? Now, we learned this the hard way, honestly, from Extravaganza when we were waiting for the next wave for weeks, because we didn't know about this. A little tidbit here, but every single wave has been coming 63 days apart. And going by the last release date of Ethereal Workshop wave 4, that means that the next wave is going to be arriving on the week of June 20th. And if we're going back to that month of the Mythical free trailer, we have a bit of a hint towards when it is going to be coming. Inside of the trailer, they show all of the monsters coming throughout the month. Yes, I still can't get over that they showed them all. I needed the surprise, to be honest. It feels weird now. We're at this point. Anyway, on the 18th, there was a circle around the calendar, but there was nothing shown. So with the monsters coming out on Wednesday, it seems quite likely that the wave is going to be arriving on that Tuesday. Quite weird for an Ethereal Workshop wave, honestly, but there's nothing else that can be for, really. So yes, the wave is going to be coming then. Leaving, of course, our final wave 2 to come for anniversary month at the beginning of September, when the 12th anniversary will begin. Oh my goodness, 12. Don't go there. We don't have to talk about that yet, MPG. All right, so for the Crystal Quad, though, I feel like the Crystal Quad is going to be quite alike to Vention. I think the Crystal Quad is going to be a heavy instrumentalist monster inside of the song. Out of the Crystal and Poison Quad, I get the feeling as though the Crystal Quad has the most potential inside of the song to really rally the sound up. This is going to be Vention's buddy. Vention did so much for the song, and I feel like this Crystal Quad, it is going to be their duo, their partner in crime. No, we aren't talking about Batman here. We're talking about MSM, all right? But the song, I feel like, needs more momentum, and with this huge potentially instrumentalist part coming along, this momentum, it needs to be served right now. The drop towards Whaill's verse at the moment, it doesn't feel like it has as much momentum flowing into it as much as what the song needs, and this crystal heavy instrument is going to be exactly what I think the build-up needs to go into that Whaill part. I feel like this is going to really layer that section up and make the verse feel less as though it just comes into the song and much more of an part of the song. That's what I'm really hoping behind this Crystal Monster, for it to provide that final layering, that coat of paint on the verses before Whaill's part. After the experimentiveness of Vention and Pentumbra, though, my goodness, the Shadow Quad and then the mech element coming through with Vention, I feel like the experimentiveness of this monster could be shown once more. We could have some wind chimes to mimic that glass-like jewel sound that we might be trying to go for with this monster, and maybe a Celesta. The Celesta instrument is so cool. It's basically like a piano, and it's really harmonious, just like what you'd expect from a geode counterpart, basically. Really awesome instrument there. But when I go back to the Crystal Quad and I try and picture this experimentiveness coming along, I almost feel like it is a constraint for this monster, and that's so weird for me to say, because I don't feel like that has been the case for the rest of the monsters. It feels like the rest of them, they've got away with all these experimentiveness things, and it's just flowed into the song, but it doesn't feel like the song really needs that from the Crystal Quad. It feels like, honestly, it needs a synth from the Crystal Quad. So I'm going out there now, and I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a synth monster with a crystal and glass-like effect to capture on the song. And to go back onto what this could actually sound like, I want to go on over to Ninni's prediction. Ninni's prediction, it nailed the Crystal Quad, what it could do so well. The layering of this is absolutely amazing. Go and take a listen, guys. This shows just exactly how the synth could be overlaid and interlapped, and how the layer could be built upon on the foundations that we have in the song right now to make something really special overflowing into that Whaill segment. It makes the Whaill segment not feel as though it just comes in. It feels like that it is a moment inside of the song, a stage, if you will. It feels like the stage is set. Even on Mythical Island, it feels as though that's quite, you just go into it. But for Whaill's part, I feel like they are going to have this section drive in almost. It's going to float in very nicely, unlike Cranch's bit. It feels like that to me anyway. I feel like they thought the experimentiveness of the monsters, if we were to put that onto the Crystal Quad, I just don't feel like it's going to work out that well. I feel like it's a constraint almost. I feel like, therefore, to maximize the song's feeling, we need to do away with that just for this Crystal Quad. And I've just got to say, if we ought to have a synth, this would be so cool with Oglet. Oglet already has the glass-like instrument. Please just add it with Oglet and this monster. This quad is going to be awesome with a duet with them. Now, for his final triple, though, I've been over this experimentiveness and how it doesn't really side very well with the Crystal Quad, but I actually think the opposite for the triple, man. I very much feel like our triple is going to delve into that experimentiveness. When I'm thinking about the triple, I automatically go back once again to this feeling of build up. Sure, the Crystal Quad, I'm going about it adding that coat of paint, adding the layers, but even then it's not necessarily building up towards that verse exactly in the way what I would want it to, and therefore I feel like one monster in particular needs to play just before that verse begins to also make that verse stand out a little bit more, along with Blaret. I feel like Blaret does a good job there already, but something else on top of it to make that segment feel more impactful and for us to drive into that. Again, I'm actually going to go back to Ninni's prediction. They nailed what I want for Wave 5, so you get in the theory video. They pointed out this grandfather clock instrument and that ticking, that tick, that harmonious, that rhythmic energy that communes off of this monster. Is commune a word? I don't think so. What comes off of this monster is unreal. I love so much how this energy is emitted from it, and then it goes into the Whaill verse and it feels like that tension. It has a payoff almost in a way that doesn't segment the song in a way like Incisor does, but actually builds up towards that beat drop, and it feels so impactful in a way that I cannot describe other than putting it on the screen right now. So let's go and give it a listen. The tension the clock gives, it gives me goosebumps. That tick, 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 that rhythmic, keyword there, rhythmic, that energy that it drives into the song is uncanny. And with this build-up, you can do it in such an experimental way. Like I was saying with this monster, I almost expect the opposite with this one. Do the unexpected. Do something really experimental once more to fit that workshop theme, as this monster can get away with it. All it really needs to do is provide that rhythmic pulse, just like that grandfather of the clock does, into Whaill's part to really make that energy of that verse feel like it has a huge payoff, man. That's what I'm really looking for with this final triple, especially with it being the final one as well. It's going to be the hardest one to get. Make this feel impactful and worthful. A flask down monster. Do the clock again. Just something to really launch us into Whaill's verse and feel it all the way to his core. But when I'm looking at this monster, I do not, and I repeat, I do not, and I speak for you guys as well, I do not want another Pitplash situation. The community, I like Pitplash, but the community, I think we can all agree, Pitplash, it didn't really add that much towards the song. And when I'm looking at this final monster and it having this part, I do feel like it does need to do a little bit more. And with us approaching as final monsters as well in next side of the next wave, that I have no doubt are going to be mainly focused on Whaill's parts. Let's lead the way towards that and have this monster also intersect into Whaill's unreleased verse. Yes, this verse, I have only heard a split frame of it. when I was doing a live stream. But I really desperately want this monster to segue into that as well, because I'm aware from that little clip that I've watched that this first unreleased one, it goes at the end of the song, and it's also very different. So we need some kind of exchange into that as well. And this build up here could almost go in reverse to de-escalate the song into that emotional flutterance at the end and make us feel it even more once more. And speaking about Whaill's verse, this unreleased track, I think it is coming inside of this wave. If they truly want us to feel the impact of wave 6 when that does arrive, we need this verse now. And I don't say that lightly. All along throughout all my predictions, I've been saying it can arrive anytime. They can bring this verse out whenever. It could even be in the final one, but I am putting my foot down right now. Not just because I want it, but because I feel like it is in the song's best interest. If, when the monsters come, we have heard this verse, and then we feel the impact of the quint, and then we feel the impact of the poison quad, if they do end up going in there, which one of them has to, right? I do want to feel that impact. So I need this verse to become inside of wave 5. You can't save it to last. I mean, sure, that it's going to give such a boost, I would imagine, to that final wave and make it feel so special. But at the same time, I feel like if they did want to serve us and serve as well with that quint and quad, make us feel that impact by releasing it now. Stand your ground and know that you have good things coming, and add that layer to it with the final wave, and that is the way that you build up the song and make it feel so special in the end. I do think might be a bit counter towards what you'd expect there, but I do think it's going to arrive inside of this wave. I am ready to feel the emotions, so please give it me. Now, the triples, as well as we've dissected inside of previous theories, they've all been based on 3 things. 3 individual things. 3 mouths for Blaret. 3 fingers for Pitplash. 3 fingers. We will have that Pitplash. So with this final triple, it's got to do something special in this remark. Now, all along, I've been saying, please have 3 bodies, but I'm actually countering that now. I want that for my quint ethereal monster. We see that synthesizer MSM. We know, my singing monsters, that is coming, and that is going to be our quint. I am taking no other choices in this. I want it to be 5 separate entities. That would be so cool, harnessing each of the elements. That creature inside of it, it looks so cool, and you can see it's different creatures at the moment, the way it's coming across, and as you go up all of the synthesizer upgrades. So yes, I do feel like we are going to save that idea for later, the bodies one. So how can we capture this build-up that this monster is going to create, and then the de-escalation to Whaill's verse? Well, I would absolutely love with the design if it actually had 3 heads. I was thinking, how can you play into this really well? And just the idea of 3 heads interacting with an instrument and then seeing that escalation and de-escalation, it could be quite funny, the animations. And speaking about funny, hold your horses here, honey. Hold your Capricorns, okay? Because I want to say right now, I feel like that crystal quad, it could be equally as funny, man. I've come up with this idea since the Ethereal Workshop. It's based on laboratory experimentiveness. We really want to delve into that with this monster. So I came up with the idea maybe it could have a glass dome surrounding it, and it could be a lab experiment. And the reason it's funny is, with lab experiments, so you're probably thinking, oh, you rodents, oh my goodness, the atrocities that come with it, right? What you're probably going to end up experimenting on. But this wonderful crystal elemental, it's crystal, it's radiant, it's geode, it is glorious, gorgeous. So this specimen inside of it, it could be absolutely stunning, beautiful, but it's inside of a dome trapped. A specimen of the workshop. I love this idea. And it could have light flashes amongst the glass when it's making it sound. Please don't just have it glow lights. I can't deal with that. I need something special. If we're going to have a quad and we're going to have a crystal one, please do it right, okay? Because they've been getting so awesome, the quads, and I expect that to continue with this one. And for the crystal quad, I am going to throw up Ghostympa's design for the crystal quad. Now, I've not seen this yet. But Ghostympa sent me a teaser for it on Discord, and I do know they looked absolutely amazing, and this is hands down the community's pick so far for what the crystal quad should be like. We're not talking about leaks here. Yes, I have seen the comments about potentially there being leaks. I have avoided the internet basically for the past few weeks since I knew about it, basically. So this quad, I saw from it that it has different crystals going from its shards. Yes, I do expect them to go into the shard-like appearance with this crystal quad. And I remember it had the eyes. I don't really have much else to say. This is what I expect, though, and it's on screen. You guys can see. And then as well, for our triple, let's head over to Riles' prediction. They've got Galvana, a really awesome take for what the final triple could be like. They've really harnessed into this the idea of this being quite special, and I love that aspect behind it, because this triple, right, it's the final one. So let's go out with a bang. We've had so many triples. We've got the eyes on this one, a golem-like appearance, the hands. I'm really curious how this could make a sound. Raz didn't describe it, but man, this looks awesome. Potentially a vocalist monster, but the hands as well look absolutely awesome with the mist there and the eyes towards the bottom on the circular feet. It is absolutely amazing. The powers, oh, it's overflowing, it's rustling with that energy. If I was to go on the final Ethereal Workshop triple, I would honestly like us to go into that space theme a little bit more. I feel like it's been left out a little bit compared to Ethereal Island, that space alienness, like what you see with Nibu Orb. So I would like that to be embraced a little bit more in the workshop. Maybe see that with the triple, but awesome design there from Riles. Once more, of course, we love Riles. And then as well, I wanted to bring up this sync pipe concept art. I feel like this is very relevant here, because the crystal quad, I feel like it could go into one of these designs so easily. I love the one on the right. I feel like that could have an awesome shot at making its way into the crystal design. It feels like that is an absolutely awesome one. I also like the one with the many arms there, the way it taps its feet. That could be quite impactful towards its sound scene, as though it's going to have a very impactful instrument that could be really awesome in making it feel huge and massive, and as though it contributes a lot inside of it. But I'm mostly feeling the right one. I had to throw them up because these are cool, man. And then as well, inside of this month, it is a very special month, because at the very end, well, I suppose at the beginning of next month, we are going to be getting Adult Galvana, our final Adult Celestial, and I have quite a few predictions, of course, on this one, as I am a loyal Galvana follower, my favorite Celestial. Let's just all be real, guys. We have been waiting for Adult Galvana all along. The rest of the ones, to push them to the side, the one we all care about. Now, Adult Galvana, it is the one. It is the one we need, we want, and we have all waited for. And if I'm thinking about Galvana, it automatically makes me think lore. Lore abound. Wubbox, of course, was made by Galvana. Galvana has such huge lore implications that in terms of the Adult Celestials, we've had this teenager vibe, but Galvana, it's always been different. If we look at the Elder forms, they're all so old. And then you got to Galvana and he's like... magical prowess, wonderful. I don't look old at all. The other Celestials are probably jealous of that guy. It's okay, Galvana, you are the awesome one. I know I'm jealous of my sister for having July as her birth month, so it certainly makes sense, man. Galvana, when we're going back to this lore, Galvana actually doesn't remember anything inside of present-day MSM from their elder counterpart. It's forgot all of its memories, making Wubbox, and therefore it's a huge question when Adult Galvana comes along and Elder Galvana, is he going to start to remember all of this logic and finally be a powerful asset once more inside of the monster world? I feel like the lore implications behind this, like I said, when the first Celestial Ascension trailer released, there's going to be huge lore implications behind this because the Celestials have powers. We've not seen any reference to that so far, and it's been really curious and weird to me that we've not really heard back on that, but it's kind of like the rare Wubblins. When I'm viewing them, I'm like, where is your lore? But then we go on over to Adult Galvana, and Adult Galvana has to serve because it's Galvana. So Galvana is going to come with all the lore, I do think, and with this huge lore implications, it is, of course, the main question to me, is it going to remember how to use its power, but mainly, how is it going to come back? How is its powers going to come back? Its influence on the monster world, even if it doesn't get its memories back, it is going to become the radiant monster that we all know and love, and I think it's important, therefore, that we don't have this playful kid-likeness that we saw with the baby Galvana. It's got all the orb on the floor, it's toying around with it. This needs to see Galvana, I think, this adult form, come in towards its powers, working out how it uses them, a huge astral wand, cool wizard-like materials overflowing from it, a cool atmosphere towards it, showcasing how it's trying to use its powers, as this is a very influential figure, and I feel like if it delves into this teenager likeness, it might not go that well for it. It feels like it needs to also go into being maybe a wizard-like student. I feel like that is the vibe that I pick up for Adult Galvana mainly. Powerful looking staff, not quite at its prime self with its elder one, but really powerful. And for Adult Galvana, there is no one who has done Adult Galvana justice more than Uksus. I feel like we are going to have much more of a wizard student vibe. I like that a lot. But Uksus here, I love it. I love the hair. We've got that teenagerness, but it's not overdone with them. I love them to bits. We've got the little tufts towards the back of them starting to come out. Their horns are poking out of their head now. A lot more. We can see this one is grown up a lot. I like Uksus's idea at the back of rolling the orb amongst it, but also while looking at this, I feel like we need to escape the tendencies of this feeling like a playful figure and feel like it's coming into that suit and role of power that we know Galvana to have. I feel like that's important with this one. We have the chance to make something special here, so let's do it, I say. And of course, after all of the month of the Mythical Life Formula 2024, we have SkyPainting coming up, with Rare Pixel, of course, being themed around that very nicely. I will add, I wanted that so much. I'm so glad. Now, Epic Whiz Bang is going to be our main talking point here with that. Going by how Pride, which SkyPainting is based around, is celebrated in June, I feel like Epic Whiz Bang is going to come out by the end of this month, even though it wasn't marked in the calendar inside of month of the Mythical 3. I feel like, therefore, it is going to arrive on the final week where we don't currently have anything. And with Epic Whiz Bang, I'm super hopeful that they do something very creative. Out of all of the Epic seasonals, I feel like this one, we've gone from the most epic one, Epic Monculus, which is my favorite Epic seasonal, and I feel like this is going to be such a hard rebound because now we've got Epic Whiz Bang coming, who is honestly going to struggle, I feel like, in making themselves unique, because Whiz Bang, you can only do so much with its animations, right? It goes around in a circle, it makes fireworks, that's basically it, right? I feel sorry for the animators in coming up with this one. So we've got to do something quite meaningful, I think, to make these animations feel special still, as honestly, they're going to have a hard time in doing that if they don't. So therefore, the idea that comes to mind for me with Epic Whiz Bang is absolutely going with the Thundercloud. It is the most basic one. I would have probably predicted it for the rare. I probably did. But I want to also say, if they don't go with this, when it swirls around, what is it going to do, man? It's got to go with the thunder atmosphere and have those particles be emitted when it makes its animation. That's the only different thing that I can really imagine with this, honestly. I mean, what do you do? It's the best outcome I can picture. And LOLCowz has come up with an idea for Epic Whiz Bang. So let's take a look at that. They've come up with this punk rocker theme design. I like this a lot because they've not just gone into the idea of it being a thundercloud, but the punk rocker theme. It also feels like it lends itself towards Pride and makes out itself to be even more unique. So huge congrats to LOLCowz here because they have done more than what my mind could have even came up with for this. They have come up with lightning surrounded. They've even come up with an animation for it here, and also particle effects for what it could emit inside of its animations. Hugely well done to LOLCowz here. I feel like it's so hard to come up with one for Epic Whiz Bang in particular. And then we also have some new costumes and decorations that will be arriving with SkyPainting as well. Hopefully this time we'll get some really unique, colorful costumes to match SkyPainting's vibe. All of the events so far, they've had costumes come out for the island specifically around them. I've just got to bring this up because I think this is such a cool idea, but MSM's had so many Pride monsters come along throughout the years. Epic Pom Pom, which I had the honor of revealing for the first time. Screamoo and Epicoola. It feels like these are the ones that deserve the costumes the most. So I'm not expecting it this year. I feel like we're going to go to Light Island, obviously, for the costumes this time. But next year, let's have costumes for those and do something really unexpected. I would love that, man. Harnessing the fact that these are colorful, vibrant monsters and doing something special with them over there, that would be awesome. They're already colorful, those. Do something special with them and I will be so down for that. But also we have SkyPainting costumes here by Riles, which I wanted to show today. They've come up with a mammoth inside of painting gear. Very cute. Obviously, we are going to be getting Light Island ones, so they've done a good job at capturing that aspect here. They've got a painter suit on. They are harnessing their inner monster craftsmanship here. Which bio was that from recently? What was it from a bio? I think it was. And then we also have Gob, who's got glitter amongst them. I love the radiant effects that they've got coming out of it. It really suits Pride, this one. But the main one that I think suits it is absolutely Susan. They've got glitter aura coming from their horn once they make their sound there. Really adds to the vibe behind this monster. The sunglasses, a total Pride look. All right, Susie, you've got it. Thumbs up. And we can't forget about our rare Buzzinga either. Rare Buzzinga, this is the rare mythical that I am personally most excited about. We saw his turquoise-like hand inside of the month of the Mythical free trailer. This is clearly arriving with Epic Whiz Bang and SkyPainting, and that comes on later in the month. I mean, come on, the month of the Mythical free does not end with us not having all of the rare mythicals, guys. So it will be coming on the 28th before the month ends as well with SkyPainting, I'd presume. And for rare Buzzinga, there is no one who has done it better justice than LOLCowz. I don't even have any predictions for this. It's their idea. I just fell in love with it. Okay, so Lunar Moths are absolutely adorable. And if you know me, I love it when we're based around animals for my monsters. I love my Peckinut, I love my Tapcon, and this, if rare Buzzinga is also based on a Lunar Moth, this cute creature here, I'm obsessed. And LOLCowz came up with this awesomely cute design, animation, everything for it being based around a Lunar Moth. And this is absolutely adorable. Buzzinga is oddly cute in my opinion, but if we can make it actually cute now, it might win my heart over, man. So this really excites me. I love the massive glass dome that they've got on the back of them to represent it having this aura to them. The wings as well. Lunar Moth. Oh, the mythical sigils. LOLCowz, you've done amazing. There's no other words. I love this so much. Please, Buzzinga, make my dreams come true. Be like this, anything like this, and I will love you. And now let's go on to our schedule then. So on the 12th, we've got Epic Nugable Orb, Epic Souza, Ren, yeah, coming along, which we know from month of the Mythical free. On the 18th, Ethereal Workshop Wave 5. What words do we have for that? Give it me. I will say give it me as much as I can for a Ethereal Workshop. It's going to be so good. And then we have on the 19th, Rare Clacula, Rare Anglo, Rare Pixelotl. In month of the Mythical, that was shown once again. Then on the 26th, I'm going to guess it could be the week after. We have had a hectic month this month. We're not even through it yet. I do think we're going to be getting the Epic Whiz Bang, new costumes, and new decorations. And then on the 3rd, throw everything to the side. Adult Galvana. There's also been some strange oddities that has been going on inside of MSM. So I want to take a look at that before we finish, because I think an update is on the horizon. If you've been looking at socials, you will have seen that, yes, we have an MSM Live update showcase next week. So yes, something is coming on Tuesday. Yes, our workshop with, for goodness. But there's something else I do think is on the way as well. And this is because of all of these oddities. So first of all, there's been random stuff happening in game. We've had the Fumpies costume from the Fumpies app, which was only available when you played that game, now be available purchasable for some reason. They've said before that they maybe would introduce this later on, and this update could be potentially the time that they choose to reveal these to everyone. And we also have the fact that my diamonds went up because of a server change by 19,000. Yes, there is stuff going on, guys. I will talk more about my diamonds later, because I now know why they went up. But just for this, please bear in mind that they are tampering with the servers. Something is going down here. And then we have on Magical Nexus this new nucleus animation. Previously, we only saw the windows, but now they are highlighted in this brand new animation, showcasing the variant that is going to be displayed when all the monster collections are complete. If we take a look at this image here, you can see that the nucleus has 3 quadruple hexagons, one of the diamonds here representing each of the monster book collections that you have complete. So for example, the lowest one is the single elemental, then the doubles, triples, and quads. And then you have that for the rares, and then the epics as well, those single, quads, and whatnots as well. And when you progress it amongst the Nexus, more of these will be highlighted. And it's actually been highlighted by Monster Handler Matt that this is going to come inside of a future update where the collections will be highlighted amongst the nucleus itself. But in fact, we are going to have a whole menu and assortment of features to delve into with the nucleus that is going to be added. And it looks like they're finally going to be coming inside of this update. Particularly though, we are going to have new rewards here. We're going to have wild cards with the rewards that you can get from Nexus, which is quite exciting. Rare Clacula is on the way, so I'm sure that that might be something intertwined with Rare Clacula's release as well, as that's going to be the first rare collection that is going to be able to be completed. I don't think for one second that it's just Workshop that we have this Tuesday. There's other things in the works, all these oddities. There's some kind of general lifestyle improvements coming towards the game that are going to culminate into this cool update, I think. With everything coming out, I do want to bring up as well today the fact that when Ethereal Workshop Wave 5 does come out, I am going to be at a concert. So I am not going to be able to film my reaction as per usual. I'm going to record it before I go, but it will probably come out a lot later than you guys expect, probably the day after. It's probably going to be like a Magical Nexus situation that week where I'll just be catching up on the updates, but the reactions will be coming, so do not worry, guys. We'll see you later for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Yes, this month is going to be hard to beat for the MS. I feel sorry for anniversary month this year. Oh boy.